Hello again. Well, here we are. I'm back at home now. And just before I do the concluding reading, I'd just like to say sorry, by the way, if things have been hodgepodge and so on, but it's been very difficult actually recording the interview on my camcorder. My computer camera is broken, I'm afraid, so which would have made things easier, but perhaps a little bit more boring. At least you've seen round and about, but you wouldn't believe what's happened this morning. The version you're seeing is about the 5th or 6th attempt at each one. Even this one I'm doing now, this is a second attempt. People see you with a camcorder or hear you talking, and for example, when we're up at the amphitheatre, 3 times it took me. When we're at the church, oh, what's that guy doing talking to himself? Now, people who know me know I do that all the time. And perhaps it's a thong, I don't know, it just attracts people. Oh, yes, and at one time I was attacked by a really vicious horde of hornets, good grief. But here we are, anyway. This is the opening scene to the latest book, Kiss of the Succubus. I've kept it to the opening scene because I realise some of you won't have read any of the Cambion Journals yet. And as such, I don't like to give anything away. I'm always careful to give things away so it doesn't spoil the story. This shouldn't, however, but it does set the scene for what's coming. Some of the adverts you might have seen on my blog, on Facebook and so on, say, hell has no fury like a Cambion scorned, and this sets the scene for that. So here we go, the opening scene of Kiss of the Succubus, book 2 of the Cambion Journals. A background thum-thum, thum-thum, thum-thum pervaded the tranquil serenity of her thoughts. A muffled throb that somehow coaxed her along the current of sublime melodic reverie that was her entire world. Everything was as it should be. She was safely cocooned within a web-like tracery of scarlet and rose warmth, and her senses were soothed by that rhythm to the point of rapture. She'd changed, of that there was no doubt. The disconcerting other within her heart cavity was making its presence felt, and yet the metamorphosis it had generated caused no discomfort. No anxiety intruded upon her perfect existence. Thum-thum. Thump-thump, thump-thump. Something else encroached at the very limit of discernment. Static noise, a sharpening of mental focus. Awareness impinged, and her head swarmed to the echo of 1,000 whispers on the edge of perception. She blinked, her eyes open. At first, her sight refused to cooperate, and it took a moment before the liquid silver of her vision cleared. Lucidity, the likes of which she had never before witnessed in thousands of years of existence, struck her a hammer blow. A darkened chamber, illuminated by only a handful of bale lights, greeted her. Plain walls welcomed her return to coherent thought, their clinical frigidity a stark contrast to the bank of high-tech medical equipment surrounding the single bed upon which she lay. That unfamiliar sound intruded again. Thump-thump, thump-thump. Thump-thump. What? Are you all right? A disembodied voice asked. I think so. Her thoughts turned inward, scrutinising that presence within her. Are you in pain? Not at all. It's just different than what I expected. She turned to the source of her question. She turned to recognising the source of the questioner. Lamia? Welcome back, Mahalatessa. How have the last 3.5 months been? Mahalatessa felt her breast, a newfangled steady rhythm that beat incessantly within her. I feel different. Well, that's the effect of the bloodstone. Is it freaking you out? No, it's not what I'm used to. What's happened to me? Your memories haven't returned yet? Lamia appeared concerned. Her brow furrowed. Well, I recognise you, didn't I? I suppose we have to expect it. The bloodstone is bound to mix things up for a little while yet. So what's it done? It's changed you at the molecular level, Mal. Altered what you are. What I am. We talked about this, don't you remember? A soupy mishmash of jumbled thoughts tumbled through Mahalatessa's mind. Slowly, they began to coalesce into a structured, recognisable form. comprehension suddenly dawned. Ah, so the bloodline was peasant enough then? Yes, Lamia's release was evident. Certainly was. Only 2 lines still exist today, as you know. We were able to extract sufficient power from our subjects to imbue the stone with enough potency to trigger the transmutation. And there'd be no lasting side effects. She touched the chest again with its disconcertingly loud beat. Not so far as we can determine. The stone contains sufficient potency to hold the change in stasis for about 6 months. It's gradually leaking the essence into your heart at a steady rate. Once it's depleted, you'll either revert back to normal or have to undergo a fresh infusion. Lamia, do we have a mirror here? Mahalatessa sat up. The speed of a sudden movement caused both shock and delight. Smiling, Lamia fished one out of her handbag and handed it to a friend. Mahalatessa was slow to raise the vanity mirror to her face and was stunned by the reflection that stared back. Gone was her devilishly beautiful and angular looks that had taken the breath away from the most resolute demon. She'd been replaced by a vision of even greater exquisiteness. How is this possible? I look perfect, eh? Just right for your goal. My goal, Mahalatessa mumbled, momentarily confused. Remember? Lamia hugged her close friend. You can't recall much about your past, my dear. Your poor mother died when you were born and you were left all alone in the world wondering who and what you were. You grew up with that awful burden of knowing you were rejected by others for being different, for having that hunger you could barely control. The only relief you ever felt is when those supernatural things are present, those demons. Venting your fury on them provides the only opportunity you have of appeasing your hunger. And you're very, very good at dealing with demons. It's something that comes naturally to a freak like you, doesn't it? Other memories began to unravel within Mahalatessa's mind. Ah, yes, I'm starting to remember now. I'm different to other girls, stronger than other humans, faster in some way, nastier. Although I want to protect humans, they shun me. I'm all alone without anyone to share my sad and solitary existence with. Which is a shame, of course, because our one-woman execution squad just so happens to be highly sexed and armed with killer looks too. The perfect bait, yes? Raising the mirror again, Mahalatessa grinned. That smile failed to reach the cold depths of her eyes. Oh yes, the perfect bait. He won't know what hit him. And that's the introduction to Kiss of the Succubus. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit different perhaps to some video interviews you've seen where someone's just sat in front of the computer. At least if you don't enjoy the sight of me or what I say, you've enjoyed the scenery. Not very nice weather at the moment. It's that time of the year where it's still a bit topsy-turvy as the weather settles in for the summer. But within a week or two from now, we're going to have endless sunshine until November. I know, it's a chore that we have to deal with. I mean, even Rosa, my editor, living in Florida, doesn't get this, I don't think, so there you go. And thank you, of course, to Maverick Productions for inviting me to take part in this. I hope this works well, and now I've just got to keep crossing my fingers and everything else, thong included, that I can actually download this onto the computer so I can bore you with it. Thank you, and bye-bye.